Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you on a very wet, grey and gloomy Saturday out there. Perfect day to be having a look across YouTube. And so if you're stumbling across this video for the first time, this channel for the first time, like I said, I'm Charles Watts, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal. I bring you all the latest Arsenal news and views from around the grounds, up and down the country, and at the moment from inside my bedroom, as like I said, very gloomy out there. I'll be at the Emirates tomorrow for the Arsenal versus Sheffield United game. I will get onto that match later on in this video, a little bit of a preview, talk about the latest team news, and give my predicted 11. But before I get to that, I thought I'd pop on and, as usual, as I've been trying to do throughout the week, keep you as up to date as I can on all things Arsenal transfer-wise as we approach Monday's deadline. As usual, thank you to everyone who has come across this channel before and does give it all your support. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it always. And if you are a new subscriber or a new follower to this channel, please hit that subscribe button. Like I said, I'll try and keep you as updated as I possibly can with all things Arsenal. So where are we in the transfer window? It is now, at the time of recording this video, it's just gone 1 o'clock on Saturday. So we've got about just under 60 hours left of the transfer window. Where are Arsenal? What are they going to do before 11 PM on Monday? Well, in terms of incomings, I can't give you too much more, I'm afraid, because as far as I'm aware, nothing much has really moved on. The interesting thing is we're now at Saturday afternoon. We know what Jean-Michel Aulas, the Lyon president, what his deadline was in terms of Houssem Aouar or any Lyon player leaving the club. He wanted that done, initially said by Friday, then he extended that to Saturday morning. We're past that deadline now. No Aouar to Arsenal, no Aouar to anyone. So what is going to happen is that Jean-Michel Aulas going to come out and give some quotes to some French media like he loves to do. I imagine he probably will at some point, and it'll be very interesting to hear what those quotes are. Arsenal have still been in talk all week with Leon Janino, the technical director there, has been speaking to Edu. Obviously the technical director at Arsenal, very close to former Brazilian internationals, got their good mates as well, got a good relationship. Can Edu manage to swing something before Monday's deadline? Can he convince Jean-Michel Aulas to extend that deadline? Whether that's a truthful deadline or not, we never know. You never know with Aulas. He's such a wise negotiator, always putting things out in the media to try and get clubs to move forward and hasten their bids. So we'll have to wait and see. There's been a few bits of speculation of other clubs involved in the French media. L'Equipe, I think, reported that Real Madrid had moved in for Aouar, PSG as well. Interesting just seeing a quote from Zinedine Zidane on Aouar via Marca, the Spanish publication. He says, "I don't know what information you have. He is a great player, without a doubt, I know. And maybe one day he'll be able to play for Madrid. But now there is this squad and we are going to start with this." I thought the Madrid links were quite odd because Zidane has always said he's happy with his squad. Real Madrid really struggling financially despite the size of the club due to the coronavirus pandemic. And Zidane has always said that this squad that he's got is going to be the squad that goes into the season after the transfer deadline shuts. I thought that was a bit of an odd one. Whether that was a bit of, again, gameplay by Jean-Michel Aulas, we'll have to wait and see. But Arsenal very much still keen on Aouar. Like I said, talks have been ongoing through the week, and now it all depends on what Aulas wants to do. Can Arsenal raise the bid to an acceptable offer for him? Will he extend this deadline? We'll have to wait and see what emerges in the next 24 hours. But as far as I'm aware, nothing much has moved on since the last time we had an update on it, and it'll be interesting to see if any developments happen as we progress through the weekend. You'd expect they're going to have to, because we are approaching that deadline pretty quick. In terms of Thomas Partey, again, nothing's moved on. Arsenal haven't hit that release clause. Atletico Madrid have always maintained that stance. As I've said previously in these videos, it almost seems like an easier one to do than Aouar, just because you don't have the negotiation. It's a case of, you know what you got to pay. It's just Arsenal managing to try and get up to that figure. How can they get the money together to pay that release clause? Obviously, the issue is that has to be paid in one go. With Lyon, it wouldn't be the case. You could structure some sort of payments, instalments, but it's always going to be a really tough negotiation with Aulas, especially this close to the end of the transfer window. Thomas Partey, it's different. You've always known what number you've got to hit. No matter how convinced Atletico are that he's going to stay, if someone comes in at any time before deadline and triggers that release clause, then Thomas Partey can move. And as I've said many times in this video, if that release clause is triggered, as far as my information tells me, that will not be a tough transfer to complete, because Thomas Partey is very keen on a move to Arsenal, and it will not take much to do that in terms of personal terms and everything like that. It's not going to take much negotiation at all, because pretty much everyone knows what's on offer and everything. So in terms of the player and the player's side of things, it's not going to be a difficult transfer to complete if the release clause gets triggered. But it hasn't been triggered yet, and where are we? Like I said, about 60 hours away from transfer deadline. Now, that issue, that transfer, obviously, you kind of feel, why isn't it linked with Lucas Torreira? Torreira said his goodbyes at Arsenal yesterday. He went around the training ground saying goodbye to everyone. He's flown to Madrid. He's in Madrid to undergo his medical and finalise his loan move to Atletico before then he flies off to Uruguay. Atletico still need to try and move a player on before everything gets finalised with Torreira. They're confident at doing that. Like I said, Torreira's gone over there to do his medical now, and that is the loan that should get done. It isn't an obligation for them to buy, and so you look at that and just think, Arsenal have been chasing Partey all summer. Atletico have been playing a hard ball. Atletico want Torreira. Arsenal want to sell Torreira, don't end up giving him just on loan without an obligation. It looks like really terrible business for Arsenal, as plenty of people mention. Now, I've said in this before, I'm not. It's not. It doesn't look like great business. I freely admit that. But if you can't get rid of Torreira, if you can't find a buyer for him, then they've got to do something with him. Torreira absolutely desperate to move to Atletico. He's made that stance very clear. Arsenal looking at it, they'll get a loan fee for it. I'm not sure what that loan fee is, but it'll be a decent loan fee. They'll get his wages off the wage bill, and if he has a very good season, which I fully expect him to do, because I think he'll be really good for Atletico, I think he fits in really well there, then Arsenal should hopefully be able to get a decent transfer fee for him next summer. And if he plays well at Atletico, like I said, I think he will under Simeone. I think he'll be really settled there culturally. It's going to be a lot easier for him to settle than it has been in England. And I expect Atletico will be able to make that move permanent, even if it isn't an obligation. It's just an option to buy that's included in the deal. But it still doesn't. You look at it and just think, well, it doesn't make much sense for Arsenal. So we'll have to wait and see what happens if they've got a little rabbit up their sleeve. In terms of Thomas Partey before the transfer deadline, we'll have to wait and see. But like I said, if Arsenal do trigger that release clause, if they do find the money, if they do manage to get it done, then I would expect Thomas Partey to move to Arsenal very, very quickly. Personal terms and everything like that will not be an issue. So that's where we are in terms of Arsenal. And transfers, still other players who might be going out before the transfer deadline. See it like Kolasinac by Leverkusen, we know all about that and the talks there, but still that hasn't gone through. Kolasinac played in midweek against Liverpool. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the squad tomorrow as well against Sheffield United. So still some work to be done there. Could be a couple of loans going out. Can Arsenal manage to find a buyer for Matteo Guendouzi, or at least a taker for Matteo Guendouzi before the transfer deadline? They've struggled all summer to do that. Can they now, right as the clock starts ticking down? We'll have to wait and see. Mesut Ozil as well, Socrates, Shotgun Mustafi. It's been a real struggle for Arsenal to move players on this summer, a real struggle. Haven't been able to do that, and that has really hampered them in terms of the transfer market, and that's why they've been struggling to get these deals over the line for likes of Houssem Aouar and Thomas Partey, two players they've been desperate to bring in all summer long. Right, that's the end of the little transfer update from me. Quickly talk about tomorrow's game, shall we? Arsenal versus Sheffield United. Big game for Arsenal, obviously lost in the Premier League last time out, bounced back pretty well from that in the Carabao Cup with their draw at Liverpool over 90 minutes and winning on penalties. They want to build on that again when they play Sheffield United, a team that took 4 points off them in the Premier League last season, played really well at the Emirates last season as well for a 1-1 draw. Arsenal won't find it easy at all. And they'll need to play a hell of a lot better, you would think, than they did in last home game when they just about scraped past West Ham despite not playing well. Team news for that: Socrates is available. Again, whether he'll feature, probably I doubt it. I'm not sure he'll be in the squad for that. Emil Smith-Rowe now is back in training, being integrated back into training. I doubt he'll feature, but he is available. And as far as I'm aware, no real fresh injury problems following the win at Liverpool in midweek. So Arsenal in pretty good shape going into this one. Obviously, a lot of players getting a rest at Liverpool in midweek. So there's no Aubameyang, there was no Willian. So they'll be fully rested and ready to go on Sunday. So I'm going to run through my predicted 11, what I think it might well be for the game. Remember, I'm not saying this from info I've been given. This is just me giving my predicted 11 through opinion. I'm going to go with Bernd Leno in goal. I'm going to go with the defensive Rob Holding on the right, Gabriel and David Luiz making up the back three. I'm going to go with Kieran Tierney coming in and playing the left wing back role. on Sunday, sorry, and Hector Bellerin returning after he was rested in midweek on the right wing-back role. In midfield, I'm going to go for Granit Xhaka, and I'm going to go Danny Ceballos. I think Arsenal are at home, they're going to have to take initiative, so I'm going to go Danny Ceballos and Xhaka, a little bit more attacking than we saw in midweek, last weekend at Liverpool. So Xhaka and Ceballos in the midfield, and up front I'm going to have Lacazette, central striker, Aubameyang on the left, and Willian on the right, although Willian hasn't played great the last couple of games. Nicolas Pepe I thought was good in midweek at Liverpool, but I'm still going to stick with Willian completing the front three. There you go, everyone. There's my little bit of a transfer update for you today on Saturday. A little bit of a preview ahead of Arsenal, Sheffield United, and my predicted 11. Thanks for watching. As always, please do enjoy the rest of your weekend if you can, and you're not too stuck in by this horrible weather, and enjoy the game tomorrow. Like I said, I'll be at the Emirates, and I'll, as usual, try and do my player ratings just after the full-time whistle. Thanks, everyone. Speak to you soon.